In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. Good morning, and welcome to this impromptu Elite FPL show with myself, Steve-O. It's the usual story. I've done my squats, I've done my exercising, I can't be bothered to go to sleep. I want to talk about yesterday, and if anybody complains about me being quiet, you're going to get blocked. It's 6:30 in the morning, so please do not complain about me being quiet. And I know for a fact that I'm not quiet because I listen back to the show and I know exactly how loud it is, so I advise you just to turn the volume up on your devices. Anyhow, on that note, good morning to the people that are joining me. I remember the days I remember the days whenever I used to do morning streams, I would get literally nobody watching. So thank you to Aqualaqua, FPL Anderson, FPL Codebreakers, Eric Castillo, Dresera's here. Dennis Cardakaris in Australia at the moment. Mamid Rohan. Dre, if you want to come live on air, just get in the waiting room, mate. I'll let you do the talking. But let's just see what you guys are quickly saying before we get into the show. Let's just Aqualaqua saying another day for me, reminding to delete my FPL team. I wouldn't delete it. This season so far has been so odd. I find that quite literally, if we'd have just stayed with our teams from the start, we'd be doing all right. I had the double up, for example, of St Maximum and Wilson. How ironic that they actually perform against my team, Burnley. Brilliant. We'll get onto that in a minute. FPL Anderson, on my way home from a 12-hour night shift, will hopefully keeps you entertained for the next X amount of minutes. And absolutely, Eric Castillo's safe travels. I always find it really fun actually listening into live streams when you're out on a walk or on a car journey or something. I always really enjoy listening to live streams, i.e. Davey FPL, Planet FPL James and Andy. It's very rare that I'd listen to them live, but if I do, it would be when I'm out for a walk or on a drive or whatever. And from a selfish point of view as well, I like doing these morning streams because it's very rare that we're able to do these morning streams, to be honest with you, and get a reflection on what's happened the day before, the night before, whatever. FPL Codebreakers, I'm staying away from putting the armband on Kevin De Bruyne for a few weeks, saying that Kevin De Bruyne is not captain material. Yeah, it does seem after last night that maybe Sterling could be the one to have instead of De Bruyne, but we've now got, 14 days, 2 weeks, whatever, 13 days till the next game week because of this poxy international break. Crying out loud, so frustrating. And there's a lot of talk about why on earth they're having an international break during this specific time. I get it, but just wrong. Absolutely wrong. It's just terrible. Jonathan Rolfe, I couldn't sleep, another waste of overthinking. Disappointed with Zaha. I wouldn't be thinking about this game anymore. I honestly, it's like I saw a comment yesterday on the stream and they said words to the effect of, it's nice to see Jason stressing out and Steve-O being relaxed, and let's just get this off my chest, shall we? So, for people that are hardcore / regular followers of Elite FPL, you will understand why I get annoyed. The reasonings as to why I personally get annoyed is because of, for example, logical differential picks, which I believe should do okay with the upcoming fixtures that these particular players have got, or if I've gone with a differential captain, expecting that specific player to score. If they completely blank, that's when I get irate. Yesterday, I was on Kevin De Bruyne captaincy along with God knows how many other people. we're all in the same boat. I couldn't care less. It has no relevance to me whatsoever because I'm in the same boat, as I just stated, with hundreds of thousands of others. However, from Jason's point of view, he should be very, very happy with Sterling returning yesterday with a goal, 2 bonus points. I'd be overjoyed with that. And another thing as well, and that's another thing as well that I get frustrated with, is if the player that I've brought into captain is in a team which should be scoring heavily because they're dominating the match, or the team has scored heavily and my captain hasn't been involved despite being the main threat of that team, that's when I get really annoyed. So I think that if you are a Sterling captainer, hats off to you. Well done. I know Davey FPL captained him. I know Late Riser captained him. Obviously Jason captained him. If I had Sterling last night, I would have captained him. But the game turned out to be pretty even. Based on myself and Jason covering the game, it was pretty even. Okay, Man City could have taken their chances or whatnot, but reality is they cancelled each other out. And apart from that challenge towards the end where Sterling was brought down and even Jason himself said it should have been a penalty, even Gary Neville said it should have been a penalty, these things happen, and the reality is that getting something out of your captain last night is an excellent return. If, for argument's sake, City won 4-1 and Sterling only got a goal, then it's a different story. At that point, I'd be thinking, no, I'm not happy with the Sterling return of just 1 goal because Mahrez, Torres and Foden went and got the rest of the points and stuff, whereas Sterling just seems to, even when I watch the highlights, he just comes across as a player that just stumbles over his feet sometimes. But I'd be very happy with that return. Very happy. I mean, talking of yesterday, in fact, you know what? Let's just quickly bring on Dresera, and I'll let him do all the talking. Good day to everybody watching this from across the channel, the Southern Hemisphere. I've just seen somebody say there that... Where was it? I've just seen it. Someone from Australia saying hello. Hello. Morning, the Conqueror. In fact, that's another one. Actually. Young Wheezy bringing up the point. Fellas owning Werner, Richarlison and Kevin De Bruyne must be stressed. If I was a Werner owner, I'd be very, very, very disappointed at the fact that Chelsea have scored, what is it now? 4 goals yesterday, 3 goals last week versus West Brom. They scored 3 goals versus Brighton. The week before that, Gameweek 2, I've completely forgotten. They lost 1-0, 2-0, whatever it was to Liverpool. So they scored 4, 5, 8, they scored 10 goals, and all Werner has got is a poxy assist. Get him gone. It's what I'd be doing. But Lampard's already come out. Now this is being said with hindsight, but we all knew that Werner wouldn't be being played for the middle, yet we all bought him. What did we expect? Life, Iverson. I think it's mental that people consider having no City assets. They will be still top 3 after the international break. When Zinchenko is back, they get their strikers back at structure. Then we can make a judgment call. I certainly think, once again, here's that word again, hindsight. Sticking with the Merseyside teams, it's probably the best way to go forward. To be honest with you, it's incredible how well Everton are doing. But talking of Merseyside teams, let's bring on one of their fans in Dresera. Once I can bring him in, we'll be able to have a coherent conversation. And for the first time, I'm actually going to make sure he's unmuted. So, cover your ears, everybody, because this is going to be loud. Good morning, Dresera.
Good morning, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, my friend. Talk to me about yesterday. We kicked off with Chelsea 4, Crystal Palace 0. You're a Werner owner. You must have been, let's be real here, you must have been gutted. 4 goals scored and absolutely zilch.
I mean, I feel that if Werner is listening at 6:49 a.m. UK time, I sent him a tweet saying that, listen, man, you keep being strong. I know you'll bang, but he needs to sometimes just tell Jorginho, can I take a penalty, please? Get that confidence up. I mean, for anyone owning a penalty machine, Jorginho, well done, all 10 of you. But yeah, like I just felt bad for him, like bad in the sense of where are the cojones? You know what I mean, Stevo? But yeah, it is gutting as a Werner owner for essentially a fourth goalless blank in a row. But yeah, what can you do, Stevo? You know, we believe in this guy, but he's not giving us the reward.
No, Eric Castillo saying, Steve, did you see Tammy Abraham getting mad about not being able to take the second penalty one? It's funny because if Tammy Abraham had come out of that game with 2 assists and a penalty goal, because obviously the first goal that was scored by Chilwell, the ball came off one of the Crystal Palace players that Abraham was attacking. So, yeah, it's very gutting from my point of view when you see the highlights and you're like, oh my goodness, Abraham did nothing. You watch the highlights and it's like, oh, he got fouled for the penalty. He could have got an assist for Chilwell's goal if he got to the head to it first. He could have had the second penalty, but you know, he's not in my team anymore. He's gone. But Life Iverson, what do you think about defenders in the 5.5 bracket? I think there's flexible Semedo, Ragun and Chilwell, Gomez. Well, all I can say is this. Jason, I think Jason's gone and done a -4.8 based on the conversation that we had off air yesterday, but we'll investigate that later on when we cover the games. But certainly Chilwell could be a great option. And talking to Chilwell, what a great debut for him, Dre.
Absolutely. I mean, them points, them assists, the goal. I mean, he seems like an absolute dream, and I think apparently a lot of people have been buying him up for the next game week already. It's the Chilwell hype is real, Stevo. 100% real.
Yes, he is. He's not going to be a rotation risk. He's going to play every single game because Alonso is never going to take his spot. So, any Chilwell owners out there? Do you know, the funny thing is, though, Dre, is that yesterday I saw 302 people had actually sold him. So, and that was during the Chelsea game as well, which it just baffles me. We were talking about Merseyside teams here. Everton 4, Brighton 2. They're the real deal, aren't they, Dre?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible, Stevo. Like, sometimes FPLs, like, we try to predict, but FPL just throws these incredible juggernauts at us.
They do. James Rodriguez obviously coming out with an incredible score of 18 points. Calvert-Lewin continues scoring. I've bought him in now. He is my transfer. I did it last night. I caught the price rise. I mean, he was going to rise anyway. But all the people that started with him, my goodness, you've got a 0.3 rise out of him already. Absolutely incredible. What makes me laugh though, Dre, is the whole fact that Basuma scored.
I know. He's on so funny you say that. On my head-to-head with Aussie Boy, Basuma is second bench for him. So that's a mad thing.
Do you know, it's funny you say that because a friend of mine at work, he literally was just saying, I just give up with this game, nothing's going my way, blah, 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 blah. And I said to him, so what are your transfers going to be? And he said, right, I'm going to get rid of Martial and Jorginho, and I'm going to bring in whoever it was. Hey, guess what, Dre? He completely forgot, and he's got Jorginho's a whopping, 15, 16 points or whatever he got yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unbeflaming believable. But did you actually watch the Everton game at all, or was it just the highlights?
I was just listening in on the Hangouts because I don't have BT Sport in this country. I'd have Sky Sports, so listening to the Hangouts and based on people's reactions, they were really hot on Jimenez. One thing about Jimenez, it made me think with Jimenez being so potent in the team, taking set pieces, etc. 2 points. One is, has Digne lost his value as an FPL asset? And number two, can you get James Rodriguez in your team if it means you don't need to get DCL? Because that was something that's pondered in my mind. So I'm really keeping an eye on James Rodriguez for future game weeks.
Yeah, same here. Zaha is for me the one which is kind of staring down the barrel. But Zaha's fixtures, if I bring it up on screen now, let's not mess about here, are very, very good indeed. We have got as follows: Brighton at home, Fulham away, Wolves away, Leeds at home, Burnley away, Newcastle at home, West Bromwich Albion at home. For me, I've got to be strong and just stick with him. I've got to stick with him because those set of fixtures there for Zaha are absolutely stunning. We move on to the other game, which was, of course, last night's captaincy dilemma for everybody. Leeds won, Man City won. I said that I think, to be fair, it's pretty much a fair result. They cancel each other out. Do you think anybody that's captain Sterling? Jason was a bit dejected, but I just said to him, look, he's got a goal and 2 bonus points. You should be very, very happy.
I mean, it was. I will tell you, it was highly entertaining to see Jason scream from off camera. I heard that, and I saw you clip that too. That was hilarious. But no, it was. I watched the game. I watched the game while listening to you guys at the same time, and yeah, for real, like Leeds. I think Leeds should have edged that game, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, 1-1 is a fair result, I suppose, and yeah, I think Leeds really look like the real deal in the Premier League. I mean, I feel like at times Man City looked flat, and I think Pep is turning into a fraud. I mean, who subs off Mahrez for Fernandinho? I mean, it's absolutely crazy, eh?
Yeah, it's mad. Grekla saying Zaha had great fixtures last season, but he also blanked in most of them. Well, I'd like to think that this time he's going to be playing up top with Benteke, Ayew, I don't know, whoever it is, but Eric Castillo. Steve, are Leeds the real deal? 2 great performances against Liverpool City. The answer is yes. Morning, Nick Treadwell. Sixers. People who spent 5.5 million on Pope are so clever. Well, that brings us on to the next game. This pathetic. I woke up this morning, had my breakfast, went onto livescore.com and see Newcastle 3, Burnley 1. Just I nearly swore then.
Well, I know, it's
absolutely
crazy, isn't it?
Disgusting. You then go and watch the highlights and you see the goals, and I just look at the defenders reminded me of that goal that Son scored versus us in that 4 or 5-0 win last season, where everybody's like, "Oh, it was a worldie," and I'm just thinking, well, if one of our players just decided to put a foot in, then he wouldn't have got anywhere near the penalty box. It's the same with St Maximin. Maybe if some of our defenders, all 6 of them, if one of them actually decided to put a foot in and challenge St Maximin, he wouldn't have got the goal. But instead, we were just backing off, and it was almost like a wave effect. Once we went one way, then the other. It's shocking. Nick Pope with a howler as well, giving away the penalty. And when you look at it from an FPL perspective, it would have to be St Maximin that gets a double-digit return, wouldn't it, Dre?
Yeah. I mean, I feel that my patience has been rewarded with St Maximin. He started for me, but yeah, there's a lot of his price has dropped to 5.3. So yeah, it's crazy. You can't predict it really. I mean, I came on last week and I said that I'm being patient. I'm hopeful that Saint Maximin will play against Burnley, and yeah, I mean, it's incredible, really. I mean, who would have thought it? Because you always think that Burnley always have that defensive solidity, but I don't know if it's. Do you think that's an issue, the fact that Ben Mee and Tarkowski's not playing, or do you think that Burnley look a bit hapless? What's your assessment?
I think it's a mixture of the two, to be honest with you. But watching the highlights yesterday, it's more in favour of the latter, with us looking hapless. I just don't understand what the hell's going on. However, it always seems to happen with us. We either start really well and then finish the season really poorly, or we start really bad and then we finish the season really well. So you can look at it two ways. We're just getting these rubbish results out the way now, and then after Christmas we then go on this winning run where we don't get beaten for like 15, 16 games, and everybody's going to be banging on about how we should have Burnley assets. But at the moment, Burnley, Fulham, West Brom, target them. Just target them, because they're just conceding goals for fun at the moment, and it's pretty pathetic. Dre, today we're going to be covering the Arsenal-Sheffield United game, Wolves versus Fulham game. We've got Leicester-West Ham, Southampton-West Brom at 12 o'clock. Then at 4:30, the big one, Man U versus Spurs. And then the last game of the evening, it is Aston Villa versus Liverpool. Apart from stating the blinking obvious as a Liverpool fan, but any games there that stand out for you? For me personally, it's just going to be interesting to see Wolves versus Fulham.
So here's the interesting thing for me. So I've actually captained Aubameyang this game week. So I'm definitely keeping a close eye against Sheffield United, because I think Aubameyang is due a haul. I really feel Aubameyang's due a haul, and I think Sheffield United don't look very. They look a bit hapless. I feel that Ryan Brewster could change things, but with the whole registration rule, he won't be playing in this game week. He'll play in the game week after. So I'm interested in that, and of course, I've got Podence playing for me, and I've got Mitrovic on the bench. So obviously, if Podence don't play, I'll obviously be cheering on Fulham, and if Podence does play, then I'll be cheering on Wolves. So yeah, I think those two games are very, very interesting, and very interesting to see if Podence starts or not.
Yeah, I spoke to Thingy yesterday about him and said that I reckon that there's a chance that Neto will probably end up starting ahead of Podence, but we never know. What's this here? Eric Castillo, Steve-O's prediction for Jimenez today: 2 goals, maybe even a hat-trick, legitimately. And on that note, let's bring on a couple of callers, Dre. This individual here has been waiting since the start. It is Apurva Ramal. Just unmute your mic and we can have a coherent conversation with myself and Dresera. Apurva, are you there? Just need to unmute your mic. In a 3, a 2. Nope, he's not going to unmute his mic. So let's just bring on somebody that has unmuted their mic. It's Peachy. Hello, Peachy. Hello, Peachy. Are you there?
Hey, mate.
Morning, Peachy. What do you want to talk about?
How did I get on? Oh, yeah, I'll just mute the game. Hello?
Yep, talk to us, Peachy.
Carry on.
Oh, cool. Sorry, my live stream must be a little bit behind. How's it going?
Yeah, great. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, how's everyone's team going? What is your thoughts for the next set of 4 fixtures? What team's looking good for easy fixtures?
To be honest with you, I don't really care about fixtures this time. It seems to be that it's more of a case of, correct me if I'm wrong, Dre, but it just seems that fixtures don't seem to matter. It's more about the teams that are in form, and we look at Everton, Leicester, Liverpool. Those 3 teams alone are absolutely storming. Even Chelsea are storming it as well. They're scoring goals for fun. I'd be targeting them 4 teams personally, if, of course, you're thinking of wildcarding. But yeah, Dre, what are your thoughts on moving forward with various players?
So, not being biased at all, obviously. Game week 5 is the big one. Everton Liverpool seems going to be a top of the table clash. I feel that with that game, I don't want to bring in Everton assets until after that game week because I just feel that Liverpool will have their number, or be, if we're going on history, it might be just a dull 0-0 or a 1-1 game. But yeah, that I think, yeah, I fully agree with what you're saying. And also the return of the 3 o'clock kickoff, Steve-O.
Yeah, I mentioned that to Jason last night, that they've actually decided to give us 3 o'clock kickoffs next 2 weeks' time, which is going to be fantastic. Although, ironically, I can't cover the games. It's unbelievable. But
Wow.
Peachy, so far, an absolute shambles a game week for you. Richarlison, 1. Foden,
entertaining.
2. De Bruyne, 2. Digne, 1. You've got some decent players to continue today. Jimenez, Salah, Robertson, Walker-Peters, Justin, McCarthy, Podence. I mean, are you confident?
I was confident when I saw Everton's result, and then I saw my 2 Everton players, and I lost confidence. So I'm worried now, but I'm hopeful with Wolves will carry this week.
What are you expecting from that game?
I'm expecting results from Jimenez and hopefully a penalty from Podence, the penalty man.
What, you think that Podence is going to get fouled and Jimenez puts the penalty in the back of the net?
I think Podence will take the pen.
I think Jimenez is the penalty taker.
Didn't
That's
Podence-
100. Nah, for real. Jimenez took penalties last season, so I don't see a reason why they'd give it to Podence.
And
Fair enough.
to be honest with you, there's a chance that Podence may not even start the game today. I think they're depending
He
on
didn't
his
start
injury.
last one.
Depending on his injury, there's a chance that Neto could be taking his place, and unfortunately, Podence could only make a 20-minute cameo. Who knows? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll
But
have to wait and see.
have you used your wildcard this season so far?
Yeah, I've used my wildcard already.
When did you use it?
I used that on game week 2 to get in Man U and City players. And then the Man U players have now disappeared from the squad week by week.
Yeah, tell us why.
They just don't look very good, and Everton looked on form because I didn't wildcard into Everton. I had Martial out front, and that became Richarlison.
Harbour Boy is asking, where are you from? A spark from Australia specifically.
Because he's an Aussie or a Kiwi. I'm a Kiwi. I'm in New Zealand.
He's a Kiwi too.
There we are.
Oh, he's a Kiwi too. He's probably from Auckland. Everyone's from Auckland. It's like 1/3 of the population's from Auckland. I'm not. So.
What were your thoughts on yesterday's games? Disappointed, or were you expecting those results?
I did pretty good on the predictor. I got I got who was going to win right on all of them except the Man City game, but I definitely didn't get the scores right for the Crystal Palace Chelsea game. I thought Chelsea would leak a lot more goals
Against Crystal Palace.
Well, yeah, just Palace have been looking. They've been peaking and stealing goals here and there, and Chelsea have been leaking goals here and there. So I thought it'd be like a 3-1 or a 4-2.
I've just asked Dresera, and I'll ask you the same question. Of today's games, which is the fixture that you're mainly going to be looking out for?
I'm keen for, just because of my team. I'll be watching Wolves based on how they performed last week to see if I really need to ship them or not, or stick by them because they looked shocking last week.
Yeah, they're looking. Well, I don't think they're too bad, Wolves. I just think last week was a bit of an off day. What I will say is that how many transfers have you got moving into the international break?
I've got 2 transfers now. I've been saving them up, sitting on 2, so I can make good transfers.
What's the likelihood of you using them both across this international break?
I'm not sure yet. I have to wait and see how everyone looks.
Is there any immediate transfers you're thinking about doing?
I'm watching Richarlison to see his injury news because he went off for like 25 minutes. So, not sure if I might just have to make that transfer.
Yeah, I think that there's a chance that that will be the case. Peachy, appreciate you coming on, mate.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you very much, Peachy. Thank you.
There's Peachy there, with his whoever in the background, with the old cutlery banging around and everything.
Musical instruments right there, Steve.
Yeah. Magical One. Hello, Magical One. Are you there? Magical One, talk to us. Talk to myself and Dresera. What do you want to talk about? No, he's not there either. Let's try and bring on Approver again, although I can't because he's decided. Oh no, maybe not. Approver, are you there?
Hello.
Oh, Approver.
Hello.
It's like listening to a. That's a terrible connection there. Dresera, I say bring up on your team up on screen. I could easily just bring it up on the main site itself, but it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. You've played
Yeah, no worries.
This is your team 4-5-1, and it's just that St. Maximin stands out like a smack to face. But Aubameyang captain, what on earth made you go with that, despite the fact you're thinking that he's going to get a double-digit haul, but you've got De Bruyne.
Well,
you didn't fall for the crowd.
I mean, the thing is with De Bruyne, I've had De Bruyne since game week 3. I think De Bruyne will come good eventually. But yeah, I've had Aubameyang since game week 1, and I thought to myself, you know what? Why not keep him against Sheffield United? I think to myself, yeah. I think people are sleeping on Aubameyang. It seems like, at least within this community, and looking at the general 10K and the general consensus, I don't think people are thinking about Aubameyang captain. So I thought, why not stick to my guns and go for it?
What's your transfer situation going into the international break?
So I'm thinking about. So I've got one free transfer available. I'm just so worried about all these players, because there's so many players who are in their international teams. For example, you've got James Rodriguez that has to travel to Colombia to face Venezuela on the 10th. And you know what I mean? All these different countries. And so I just want to hold my free transfer. And I'm just hope that all of them can come back without any illness of the kind that we and you are knowing why we have empty crowds.
Yeah, we just had Peachy on just now regarding Podence. We'd already spoke to death about it, but what are you expecting him to start? Because if not, or even play, there's a chance you could get Brewster.
Well, as I said before, I don't think Brewster will play. So I think Mitrovic is my second bench option. So either way, like I said, if Podence doesn't play, then I'll just cheer on Fulham with Mitrovic instead. It's kind of for me, I feel like it's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. I think that Podence will play a part based on what my feeling is, but with FPL, especially with this season, you just never know, Steve-O.
What on earth made you bench Mitrovic? Is just the simple fact that tough fixture, so that means that basically you felt that. I mean, why did you play Dallas over Mitrovic, for example?
Well, I just felt that Dallas has attacking potential, and in that Man City game, Dallas was almost 1-on-1 with Edison. Edison stood tall, and if Dallas would have got that in, that would have been great. I honestly felt that Leeds have got some. They've suddenly shored themselves up on defence a lot better. They're not conceding 3 or 4 goals a game suddenly. So I just really like Dallas, and I know I sound a bit boring when I said this, but I looked at Dallas's heat map last season in the Championship, and he's everywhere. So I thought, you know what, 4.5. And as G. Widge would say, lovely jubbly.
You're one of the few people, I say few people, who's been heavily brought in now, but Castagna, you must be very excited for him today.
Very excited. I mean, I got him, so I took out Tierney for Castagna. I have been checking Castagna, almost plays like a right winger. He feels very attacking, he's very exciting, and yeah, I really can't wait for him to play against West Ham. I feel West Ham, despite that victory against Wolves, I feel West Ham are still relegation candidates. I still think they're going to get relegated, and I feel that Leicester, they look to be on fire right now.
I'm just going to quickly go through the Elite FPL Invitational League, where we have a new leader as of last night. Admittedly, the game week hasn't finished, but Ryan Seachin has had an absolute stormer. He is now overall rank of 9,227th. Congratulations. He's still got Johnson of West Ham, although I can't see Johnson playing, so that'll be Mitchell probably coming on for a whopping 0 points, unless there's some injury to whoever, Fredericks for example. I can't see Johnson playing, so probably Mitchell will come on for 0 points, although ironically Johnson may come on for 1 point, but he's still got Johnson, Justin, Salah, Fernandez, Martial still left to play. Do you think Ryan could cement his top going into the internet, cement his lead at the top in the Invitational League with the 4 players left to play?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think that team looks very solid. My only question is that with today, it's going to be confirmed that Cavani is going to be signing for Man U today. So I wonder what's going to happen to Martial's place, Steve-O.
What on earth is that all about? Jason was fuming about it.
What it is that get this right. So Cavani's a free agent, so anyone could have signed him. Anyone in the Premier League could have asked for him. But Man U it seems to be quite ridiculous to even ask for him. So basically, what it is this: they're going to pay 10 million euros for agent fees for a free agent player, and they're going to offer him about 200,000 a week for a nearly 34-year-old guy, of which he has had 12 injuries in the last 2 years, and only played 14 times in the French league coming off the bench. And that French league is nowhere near as competitive as the Premier League. So this seems like a very, it seems like an Ighalo signing all over again. Granted, he's better than Ighalo, but yeah. Yeah, it is abysmal. Man United is turning into trash Chester United with them transfer dealing.
I would probably argue actually that the Cavani deal is more like the Falcao deal. It just seems like a trophy.
Yes, that's what I'm. Yeah.
A trophy type. What do we call it? A trophy type.
It's like a name. It's just a name of a player. It's just a name who was good 5 years ago? Cavani. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. It's like they got Falcao when he was past it, and I feel like Man United fans are going to be disappointed when they see Cavani immediately get injured within the first 10 minutes. I don't want to wish on him, but I don't think he can cut it in this league at his age.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Let's try and bring on the Conqueror again, but I really don't think it's going to work. Perva, are you there? Perva, can you hear us? No, he's not there. I'm sorry, the Conqueror, but there seems to be some technical issues here regarding microphone or whatever. But anyhow, so yeah, Ryan Seachin doing exceptionally well. He always seems to do very well at fantasy. In fact, let me just quickly look at Ryan's history. I'm pretty sure he's got excellent history in this game, and the answer is yes. Even in the 2014-15 season, 1400th in the world. So yeah, Ryan, back to the norm, shall we say. Let's just quickly move on to, if I can flame and... How many leagues, Ryan, do you want to be in? That's absolutely mental. My goodness, I'm in 400 leagues there. Let's just move my own page instead. So moving on to second place as of last night. Well, Nick Treadwell is here. He was here. I don't know if he's still watching, but Nick Treadwell, 42 points so far. Oh, look at that, Dre. Sterling captain, Rodriguez, and Calvert-Lewin. And they're the only 3 players he had playing yesterday. You look at that and you just think, give me those points. Unbelievable, isn't it?
It is some great. It seems to be great fixture management there. I mean, yeah, 42 points with a lot of firepower. I feel he's on for a very good game week, I'd say, Steve-O.
Do you reckon Vinagre will score?
Well, more to the point, Wolf is vinagre in England right now because he's apparently very close to signing for Olympiacos. And if he's going to Olympiacos, I don't even know if he's even in the country. So this is like very heavy, strong rumors. I don't know if he's going to play or not. So yeah, if he's in the country, I'm expecting him to play. But if he's not in the squad, then get him out of your team.
Well, Lewis will be coming on for Vinagre then with a whopping 1 point, but Nick's team, the players left to play: Martial, Ings, Salah, Trent, Justin, McCarthy, and hopefully Podence does something for him there. Moving on to, well, who was first. He's been first for a very long time in this particular league, but he's dropped down to third as of last night, but 62,000th in the world. It is Peter Scullion. Look at that. He had Wilson last night playing. Calvert-Lewin played. He had De Bruyne, but De Bruyne was his vice-captain. He's captain Salah. Digne he had. Lamptey with a whopping 0 points. But look at the players he's got left. So Salah captain, Vardy, Pereira, Trent. These are great options, aren't they, left to play?
Absolutely. Yeah. Seems to be that kept his relaxation, got good players. I'm a bit concerned about Lamptey though, because he gone off injured, didn't he, Steve-O?
Yeah, injured again. Surprise, surprise. It's not looking good. He was injured last week, then he was brought back too quick, and now he's injured again. It's not good man management, I don't think. But a quick question for you. There's all this talk about Salah performs better without Mane, and that's why people put the captaincy on him and stuff, blah, blah, blah. What are you actually expecting out of that game? And more importantly, do you expect Salah to just storm it?
Yeah, I mean, like, his history again without Mane is remarkable. I mean, I believe that apart from 2 game weeks, every time he didn't play with Mane, he's always double-digit hauled, or a remarkable haul. So I think Salah owners should be very excited. But I guess we will see. One factor is that he's never played with Jota, and Jota will most likely start in Mane's place. So I guess that we will see situation. I mean, I do expect Salah to score, but if he doesn't, then there's going to be a lot of angry managers around.
Just want to quickly say a bit of ad. In fact, Dresera, you can do the quick admin for me. Go.
Right, guys, if you haven't done so yet, please like this video. We have got over 100 people watching at times. Incredible stuff at this time of the day, and my goodness. Thank you very much, and don't forget, if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe for the only elite channel in fantasy football, Elite FPL.
By the way, that reminds me, how did you find your appearance on the Wildcats?
Well, it felt, I won't lie to you, it felt very weird to be on a show without you or Jason. It felt very weird. I enjoyed the experience. It was they done it. They did it through their video channel was via using Zoom, so that was a different experience. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was some good chat. I felt it was a privilege to be on a different fantasy football show and literally hear different opinions. It felt very interesting. I'm excited to be in pop in different fantasy football universes. But yeah, representing the Elite FPL t-shirt, I felt good.
Yeah, it was great fun. Then finally moving on to 4th spot. Well, I want to cover someone in a minute actually. So on to 4th spot, Coolio 2 Foots. He captained Sterling. I know that for fact. So he had De Bruyne as well, so he had the double up. So here we go. It is Sterling captain, De Bruyne, and Bamford, Lewis. So he had forget that. It's amazing when you look at this team. It doesn't look like there's players played, and then you see that Digne 1 point, Richarlison 1 point, Bamford 1 point, De Bruyne 2 points. He had Trossard. A lot of people talking about Trossard. Do you think Trossard's an option?
Trossard's been very good for Brighton this season. I think Trossard, Maupay, Lamptey, and it seems to be suddenly Basuma. They seem to be very luxury, cheap options for your team, I think. Definitely keep an eye on Trossard, but my eyes are specifically on Maupay. I really like Maupay this season.
Cuneo 2-foot has got Jimenez, Salah, Justin, and Johnston. He's going with Johnston of West Brom, the goalkeeper, ahead of Martinez. Who would you have played, Martinez or Johnston, for today's games?
I mean, defense, anything defensive for West Brom. I would not trust West Brom defense to even protect my house, let alone their team. So I don't know what he's thinking, but if Johnson gets the clean sheet, then well done, but not for me.
Right. So let's talk about this. So show me the Mane is 5th in this Invitational League. I've just seen he triple captain Sterling. He took let's just see his -8 first before we talk about this. So his transfers that he did yesterday for a -8 were Willian, Fernandez, Bamford's son out for Havertz, Brewster, De Bruyne and Son. If we quickly look at his team, so immediately taking a -8, but then using a triple captaincy on Sterling. I know we've all got hindsight, but was he wise to do that, or do you just think that maybe he should have just captained Sterling instead rather than using the triple captaincy?
I think he's absolutely mad. Oh my days, Stevo! I've just discovered this photo of Vinagre in Greece. Hold on a moment. I'm going to send it to you. Hold on.
Put it in the Discord if you can. Just put it in the Discord.
I'll put it in Discord. Yeah. Just quickly,
While Dre's doing that, just to let people know, and if they are listening in on audio, Martinez, Saiss, Digne, Castagna, Gabriel, De Bruyne, Rashford, Havertz, Barnes, Sterling, Calvert-Lewin. Like I said, Sterling triple captaincy. He's still got Rashford, Barnes, Gabriel, Castagna, Martinez and Saiss to play, but show me the Mane using that triple captaincy already. It could have paid off, maybe. In fact, that's a quick question for you. Sterling getting fouled towards the end of last night's game, was it a penalty in your eyes? Gary Neville and Jason said it was, but what do you think?
I felt it could have been on a penalty in a different day. Although Sterling does have that reputation to go on the floor very easily, so I don't know if that counted against him. A bit like Zaha, they tend to be dive merchants. But yeah, the latest photo I posted on the live screenshots of Discord. This is from the Wolfpack, who follows Wolves very closely. A Wolves news reporting account. I can't confirm that looks like Vinagre, but that's definitely looks a lot like Vinagre right there.
Yeah, the tweet that you've posted up here, Ruben Vinagre is close to reaching an Olympiacos loan from Wolves.
There's the latest one, the one with the photo of him in the
So
in the car.
So
there's another one.
For anybody that's got Vinagre, you're gonna get whoever's on your bench for him. So yeah, I know. Show me the Mane's a massive maverick in this game, but you think, I mean, even without hindsight, do you think that was a mistake hitting the triple captaincy?
It's very hard to get. It's very hard to go against. Very hard to go against Show Me the Mane, because Show Me the Mane is such a maverick player. He does things that not many people have the cojones for. Well, I mean, his triple captain did work in hindsight, but yeah, I think I would have held it off. I would have held it off for a while, because alarm bells would have been ringing after that performance against Leicester for Man City. So definitely not for me. But incredible cojones once again from Show Me the Mane.
Yeah, Rolando's saying that he's after yesterday's games, he's on 10 points because Reece James, Dunn and Vinagre aren't playing, and I'm assuming that every other option that he's got didn't play.
Wow.
Either. Quite extraordinary there, and is patience. I asked this last week. I'm going to do it again. Is patience a virtue in this game? Do we think that it has to be stick with the team you've got? Because it just seems that the second we get rid of the players, they go ahead and score.
I think my philosophy is going to be patience. I mean, I don't wanna. I want to like be bold in my philosophy and do my best not to take hits. I think sometimes hits will be inevitable with the kind of season that we're in, but I think patience is a virtue. But I think one thing I think a lot of people do is that I think people do get very emotional in the moment and they go, "Oh man, I can't believe this guy is not doing it," and then like go, "All right, get him out," like immediately after, bring him in for one game week. But everyone plays their game differently, and everyone finds success in their own way. So I guess the only telling way, Steve-O, is see what happens at the end of the season, because this season has only just got started, really.
It has indeed. A quick question from Joe Ryan. So, Cavani comes to United. What do you think FPL would price him at?
4. Or what? Who is Cavani? You say?
Yes. How much do you think he'll come in at?
7 million, maybe, as a forward.
7.
Yeah. I think it's the name value. You know what I mean? Even like it's like that luxury. It's like the luxury name, as what you say, that will push him up. But I think realistically he should be 6 or lower. But I think it'll be 7, Steve-O.
Someone's just mentioned. I've forgotten his name. Boomer. And he put out a tweet yesterday about the fact that stubbornness not bringing in Calvert-Lewin. I mean, I've got him myself, but to be fair, Booner's got lots of players still left to play. Although he's going to get a whopping 0 points off the bench from Mitchell. So Booner's team is he's still got Martinez. He's got Trent, Saiss, Podence, Barnes, Salah. Essentially, he had 3 players playing yesterday, and he got his captaincy right. That's the main thing in Sterling. I'll tell you a player that I've been a bit disappointed with since bringing him in, and like a lot of people, Foden. Waste of time, or do you think give him a chance?
For his price, he seems to be. I think that, but mind you, that bracket, there's a lot of good players in that bracket, but it's hard, Steve-O. I would never consider Foden in my FPL team because I don't know. I just think there's far more exciting players. I mean, if, for example, I know it's a slightly different price bracket, but if you gave me the opportunity of James Rodriguez or Foden, I know who I'd pick.
Yeah, same here. Eric Castillo's thinking 8.5 for Cavani. Joe Ryan saying 7 million is way too low. I think 8.5 to 9. Yeah, agreed. I do have to agree with that. Youssef saying Cavani will be 8.5. Vigesh saying 8 million. FPL Anderson thinking 9 million. Life Iverson saying Ings versus West Brom. Being overlooked. Worst team in the league. Ings has had the most shots in the box of all strikers. You worried about Ings today, Dre?
I mean, you're always going to have a little bit of worries of players that would bang that you don't have in your team. I've seen, I believe that Phil, aka Vardy Decisions, I think he has Ings captain. So I think Ings is a very good captaincy shout, let alone a player shout. So I'm a little bit worried, yes, but it's one of those where I don't want it to riddle my brain in sorrow. We'll just see if Sam Johnston can shut him out.
Yeah, and I very, very, very much doubt that. On that note, I think I'm gonna call it a morning. Really do appreciate you, Dre, coming on the show. Do you want to give any final thoughts before we clear off?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, people, tune in to what Elite FPL is offering later today. No matter your time zone, Stevo and Jason, it may feel like they don't sleep, but they do sleep. But they entertain. They love to talk FPL for you guys. And of course, there'll be Sunday surgery today. Is that correct, Stevo?
I don't know about Sunday surgery, but I can tell you that there is going to be coverage of the Wolves versus Fulham game and Arsenal versus Sheffield United.
Absolutely. So, guys, you've heard it there first. Keep it Elite FPL. Like this video if you haven't already. And don't forget, if you're new around here, give this channel a subscribe. You won't get a much more dynamic and exciting community when it comes to Elite FPL.
Cheers, Dre. See you later.
No worries. Thank you very much, man.
Cheers,
In a
dude. There is Dresera, and then, funny enough, FPL Anderson has just come on, but it doesn't matter now. I'll just reveal his team that he did, or that he had yesterday, because FPL Anderson has had well, it's the usual story. He's had an absolute stormer. It is as follows up on screen: Calvert-Lewin, Jimenez, and Sterling captain. The perfect game week. So, okay, he had Zaha, but those three players coming in, beautiful. Well done, FPL Anderson there. So on that note, I just want to say thanks everybody for joining. Ray Joyce, hello mate. Cheers everybody for watching, and make sure that you look out for the notification for when me and Jason are going live for, like I said, Wolves versus Fulham and Arsenal versus Sheffield United. On that note, take